Hi there, FMPS. Because it is Science Week, this PE lesson is going to be a little bit different to normal, and it's going to be a whole school lesson, and you can make it as difficult or as easy as you would like, depending on your decision. So what we're going to be talking about today are two things: forces and angles. Now, a force is a push or a pull on anything that can make something move. So standing on Earth right now, we have the force of gravity pulling us towards the Earth. So if I was to drop this ball, the force of gravity is going to make it drop straight down, just like that. We also can apply forces to things using our bodies. So if I was to throw something, that would be applying a force on something as well to make it move. If I was to pull something, like pull my shirt, that's also a force. So today we're going to be looking at how we apply a force to something and how much force to apply, and angles as well. So if I drop something straight down on a flat surface from directly above, it's going to go straight back up. Now if I change the angle of something, like I change the angle of that surface, and I drop something, it's going to go off to the side. And whatever angle an item comes in at, so if this ball comes straight down on a flat surface, it's going to go straight back up. If this ball comes in on an angle, it's going to go out at the same angle. And these are really important skills to learn, because if you're playing a game like tennis, and you swing the racket, depending on the angle of your racket will determine which direction the ball is going to go. And if a ball is coming in on a really steep angle, it will go out on a really steep angle. Or even if we're playing soccer and a ball's kicked into you for a header and it's coming directly onto your head, you'd have to create the angle by turning your head. So we're going to work with that today, and we're going to discover angles just like scientists would during an experiment. And we're going to use the trial and error approach. So we're going to attempt things, we're going to see if they work, and if they do, that's perfect. But if they don't, we change things up until we get something to work. And our lesson for this week is a trick shot challenge. So I have set up a trick shot challenge here, and I'm using ping pong balls or table tennis balls, and you could go outside if you wanted to, and you could use a bouncy ball like those down balls that you have at school, or you could use a softball, or you could use your softball as well and work with different angles. I've decided to create a trick shot out of pots and pans and some table tennis balls, but I could easily go outside and use some brick walls and a pot plant and a tennis ball as well. So this is your opportunity to be really, really creative with what you get to do this week. Now, I'm going to attempt to get this challenge in, to get this trick shot in, but every time I miss to put in an element of PE in there, you have to do one burpee. And I'll show you what that looks like. So, I'm here, I've got my trick shot set up, I've got pots and pans set up at different angles, so the ball should fly off in different ways. I know how much force to apply. I'm using gravity. I'm just going to be dropping the ball, and the force of gravity is going to pull it into the pot and hopefully go into the white bucket. But every time I miss, I need to do a burpee before I can do another one. Okay, here goes. Burpee. Burpee. Oh, so close. Now, I would keep going until I got this, but what I'm going to do so I don't waste all your time is I'm going to pause the video here, and I'm going to show you a clip of me getting it in, okay? Cool. So everyone, you should have just seen the sped up version of me doing that trick shot challenge. I wasn't doing the burpees and I was going through it very quickly, but if you'd like to do the burpees when you miss a shot, you can, but it turns out it's quite a lot of exercise chasing after the balls that miss the target. So if you don't want to do the burpees, that's quite alright. You would have noticed that I did a lot of trial and error. I missed shots, I changed where buckets were positioned as well. I'd never changed the angle of the pots because I got that right before I started filming, but I did change the distance of the target bucket. So you will need to try things out, and if they don't work, you'll need to change them. You also need to make sure whatever force you're applying, it has to be consistent, the same all the time, because if you're changing that force or the angle, which you would have seen from some of my throws, it won't work. So you just need to keep it consistent. This is a lot of fun. Your assessment for this week is I will have a Google form for you to fill out, like always. There'll be a different one for the P to 2s from the 3 to 6s. But your other part of the assessment, if you'd want to, which I would love to see because this will be so much fun, would be to see all of your, see your trick shot in action. You can either film it like I have with my camera on the side and you just keep going and you pick out the clip where you got it, or you could just take a picture of your setup and send it to me, which would be really cool. And once again, I used items that I had around my house. So I had table tennis balls, I had pots and pans. I'm sure you have items around your house that you can use, like walls outside, or you could use pots and pans as well. Or, I don't know, just be creative with it. Make sure it's safe though. Make sure you have mum and dad's approval to do that. And I know it's a challenging task. If you can't do this, you can still do the Google Sheet. You can still watch it. You can still think about a trick shot challenge to come up with. But it is a lot of fun. Give it a go. But if worse comes to worse and you can't do it, you can always go to the optional PE activities that I gave you in week 1. And you can have a look at those and do one of those this week, okay? But let's get around Science Week. Let's have a bit of fun with it. And I can't wait to see your trick shot challenges.